Hello and good day to everyone. This is once again Jonrel
And Joni.
here in JIP Migrate, delivering you the newest JIP podcast all the way from beautiful, beautiful Europe. And it is getting a lot more beautiful ever since probably this week, all right? Because it's getting warmer, as I tell all the time in the podcast, getting warmer every day, and birds are everywhere, and flowers are actually starting to bloom. So everything's getting better. It's not cold anymore. It's such a beautiful day today. Of course, we don't want to tell where we are because we try to, of course, respect privacy, even to us. So there you go. But once again, we're here in JIP Podcast sharing to you educational materials and latest news about migration. And today we're going to be talking about the very, very controversial and interesting topic of taxes. All right, taxes in what country was it?
Austria.
In Austria, Österreich, in German. So taxes in Austria. Let's see how good are they. Are they even good? What to expect? Because this is very especially interesting to our clients who are, coming in, and especially for those business owners. All right, because taxes are always a big part of their planning for putting up a business. All right. So actually, last night we were talking to a few clients from the U.S. One is an attorney. She's a lady, and apparently she's going to be engaged in a European citizen man. All right, and she wants to invest in a property somewhere in Italy because she likes the country. She doesn't want it cold. She probably doesn't like the cold there in the U.S. So she's asking us if what we can do about properties. Well, of course, JIP Migrate can help with that, and also the taxes that would be involved. Because as you know, if you buy properties, you really have to be planning about the taxes. And since she's an attorney, she knows very well that she needs help with that, because there are 27 countries in Schengen, Europe, and each one of them would have really, really different tax systems, I guess. All right, it can be very, very complicated. And first of all, of course, we don't pretend to be experts ourselves in taxes, but we do have departments for that. So JIP Migrate can proudly say we have experts for taxes who can advise you, guide you, and make sure everything is legal, and make sure that you're paying the right kind of taxes, and that would be beneficial to you and your business or your family, etc. All right, so this is what JIP Migrate can do. And we've been talking to these clients from the USA. Apparently lots of them want to mostly move to South Europe, right? Why do you think? Like Spain, Italy, Greece, right?
Yeah, I think they prefer a different environment.
And they really don't like the cold for some reason. They want to, most of our clients would say, okay, I want to stay in Greece. And then I ask them, okay, why? Because it's not cold there. All right. maybe all right, it's their preference, of course. And just to remind everybody of our last podcast about the blue zones, those are actually the blue zones, aren't they? Italy and Greece, isn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, so maybe that's one reason why people get to live 100 years there, because it's such a nice environment. It's not cold. It's always really good weather. You have the beaches, beautiful beaches. So yeah, those are our clients from yesterday wanting to get golden visas. So before we get into the actual topic, let's watch a video from our sponsor.
An investor exploring optimal avenues for deploying your substantial wealth, look no further than Europe. JIP Migrate specializes in offering premier property and business investment opportunities, securing golden visas for you and your family in Europe. Take the first step now towards lucrative investments with us. So want to migrate to Europe? Contact JIP Migrate. We enable possibilities for those who are ready to move.
And yes, Anjay was right. We can help you with very lucrative investments, especially in real estate property. That has been very popular. We actually had another. I just remembered we had another client Just last night, we were talking to him. He's a doctor, and he's interested. He's a doctor in the USA. As I can perceive, as I can hear from his accent, I guess he's probably originally from India and became a doctor in US, but wants to retire in Europe. So see, this is the usual pathway for people who want to retire. Europe's just a beautiful. What do you think? Would you how would you compare the USA to Europe with regards to the environment and everything?
And Europe has more onto nature.
Nature, yeah, I guess, yeah, nature and yeah, serene environment.
Yeah.
Plus, it's safe. Actually, this
Safer,
one,
yes.
yeah,
Much
this
safer.
much safer. This one lady yesterday, last night as well. I was talking to a lot of them from Colorado. She was really, really concerned about the safety of where she is living right now in Colorado, USA. And we actually assured her that in Europe, you almost never get those kinds of crimes they have in the USA. So that's one big factor right there. All right, especially if you're an investor who wants to protect his or her investment. So Europe is the best place in our opinion. All right. So let's get into the topic, the taxes of Austria. So as usual, Joni will be presenting to you some information that she has researched. Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so the BMF, or the Bundesministerium für Finanzen, Federal Ministry of Finance, is the authority in Austria that enforces all fiscal laws and collects taxes. It distributes the tax revenue to public and social services to create a high standard of living for residents. Austria's tax year follows the calendar starting on 1 January and ending on 31st December. Even though the country has a progressive tax system from 20 to 55% of
Wow.
earnings
Mm-hmm.
based on income brackets, it has one of the highest personal income
Income
tax
tax.
for individuals in Europe. It is predicted to decrease to 50% in 2025.
All right. So, yes, as you can see here, we've already gotten a number 20 to 55%, and they work on a bracket system. That means the higher your salary, you would probably be in a higher kind of percentage. For example, if you're one of the middle, I guess, middle salary earners, you'd be probably around 30%, something like this. Of course, again, disclaimer, we do not pretend to be experts in tax, okay? So this is just a simple podcast for general information. All right, but these of course are accurate. So 20 to 55% is what you can expect. All right, and they work on a bracket system wherein if you are a higher professional earning higher salaries, you'd probably be closer to the 50-55%. So just remember that, especially for those employees actually who come to Austria, become expats. We do have clients like that. Austria is also a very popular country, very safe, very clean, very touristy as well. Very nice place. How do you like Austria anyway?
It's very beautiful.
Beautiful, huh? I
And
wouldn't
grand.
know. Grand. What's grand?
All the facilities there, they're like,
Like palaces.
yes, palaces, and the statues are very big.
Yeah, if you're like that kind of person, you want fancy. If you're a fancy person, go to fancy Vienna.
It's very
That's
beautiful there.
very beautiful. That's where our fancy clients go to. Remember, I don't want to say her name, but she really liked it. She went to Austria in 1980s. She saw it, and it was already grand then.
Yes.
So now it's probably
What
even
more now?
Yeah, we come there a lot of times, so Joni would know. I wouldn't see, of course. But anyway, so that's what you can expect. And of course, this is most interesting to all of our clients who are wishing to set up a business in Austria. All right, planning for taxes is very, very crucial because, as you can see, the numbers here are one of the highest, okay, in the world, right? 20 to 55%, more than half of your earnings would go to taxes. But of course, to a really good cause. As you can see, their environment is just safe. It's just beautiful. Everything works. The food is great. German food. Your taxes go to the right place. All right. But if you're a business owner, you really, really have to plan out before you set up a business, you have to be aware, fully aware of the taxes that you will pay, which is why JIP Migrate had developed a department especially for taxes. We have tax advisors, accountants who can work with you and your business to get the best taxes. All right, because this is just taxes, right? We have, that does not include the other payments as well. As remember what our accountant said, the health insurance by the government is the third tax.
Third tax.
He did say that. So it really gets complicated, and this is more reason that you need experts. All right, you can't do it yourself. As you know, European countries are notorious for being bureaucratic with everything, especially taxes. You can't just figure it out yourself. So you really have to have a team, which JIP Migrate would provide. So anyway, let's move on. Let's share more.
Even though Austria has a wide tax treaty network with 89 countries, it also subscribes to control foreign corporation rules, or CFC.
CFC.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
CFC regulations ensure that companies can't evade taxes by earning money through businesses they own in other countries, especially if those entities pay very low taxes, less than 12.5% on things like interest or royalties.
All right, so let's explain that a little bit more, because what does this mean? All right, it basically just means that Austria, actually most of European countries anywhere, would tax your earnings even if they are earned outside the country. It's called global tax. That's the loose term, all right? Of course, they have legal terms for that, but basically, what you have to really think about is when you have a business, or when you register as a business, or anything that the business owns. For example, it has a branch, for example, in let's say Dubai, right? Dubai has zero tax, depending, all right? Generally, zero. Whatever you earn, whatever your company earns in Dubai, if you're living in Austria and your business is registered in Austria as well, Austria would have to get your returns from that company in Dubai. So whatever you earn there, it will be taxed. So it gets even more complicated. It already has high tax, has the bracket system, it has all these other things for the health insurance, etc. And it also has global tax. And the Austrian government can really implement this. So we advise all of our clients who are setting up businesses, or going for properties, etc., to really think about these taxes and be fully aware, and don't be surprised if you get into Europe and then you pay so much for taxes. Well, that just means you didn't prepare, right? This is what JIP Migrate can help you with. All right, and we guarantee that the taxes that you pay would be the best if our team would help you on that. All right, so because it can get complicated, and the European governments can really implement this global tax. They would know. Right? If you have a company in Thailand, for example, they would know, right? And if you
Yes.
don't file that correctly, well, let's not get into that. That's gonna be terrible for for whoever violates that. But anyway, these are the things that a business owner or any taxpayer, for in fact, should be thinking about. Let's read more.
If a foreign company owned by an Austrian shareholder pays too little tax, the BMF will tax its earnings according to local income brackets,
See?
while allowing for double taxation agreements.
Yes.
The national corporate tax rate was reduced to 24% in 2023, which is comparable with many other EU member states, such as Spain, which is 25%,
Oh, 25%.
Belgium, 25%,
25,
and the Netherlands, 25.8%, but lower than countries like South Africa, which is 27%, and higher than Singapore, which is only 17%.
And you know what? This is another thing, people. Since JIP Migrate deals with migration, we do have the experts to tell you. This is really precious knowledge. There are countries in Europe that would have much lower taxes than those numbers. All right, want to know more about that? Well, of course, you can consult JIP Migrate for that. There are countries, right, that have much lower
Yes.
taxes than that, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, that's one big consideration as well where you want to move. And anyway, if you move to one, for example, this some of the situations of our clients. Some clients would just want to come in and they would set up a business in a country that has much lower tax, but they can still live in Spain or Italy or
Mm-hmm.
Greece,
Yes.
right? So there are those loopholes. So it really gets complicated, and we can't just generalize it and follow it faithfully and expect everything would be fine. It would not be fine. I can tell you it's so complicated that it's probably going to give you problems if you probably do it yourself. Well, we've seen lots of those situations, and lots of people come to us for help on those cases as well. So yeah, just remember that these are the taxes of European countries, 25 usually, etc. There are actually countries that have higher taxes, and there are countries that have
Lower.
much lower taxes. Let's continue.
This is a good thing. Austria has no estate, inheritance, gift, or wealth
Wealth
taxes.
taxes. How is that good anyway?
You don't need to pay if you inherit something like
Yeah, properties or a car.
Yes.
Yes. So this is one good thing about Austria. If you inherit something, or because there are countries that have wealth tax, like France. If you're wealthy, they tax you something else.
Yes.
So these are big considerations. Some of our clients, all right, they have big properties. They have not only properties that are real estate, they have business properties, royalties, these kind of things that you can that their children or grandchildren can inherit. It's best to be aware which country would offer you the best deal. If you're like that kind of person, then go to Austria. I think it would work out for you, because if you pass it to your son, generally, all right, not specifically, again, generally, the inheritor would not pay taxes for that. Yes. So yeah, that's one good thing about Austria.
Okay. So what is new about taxes in Austria in 2024? From 2024, tax advisors will have more time to submit tax returns for their clients. Normally, returns must be filed by 30th June after the assessment year. However, with this change, tax advisors can submit returns by 31st March of the second year after the tax period, with a possible extension to 30th June. This applies to most tax returns but excludes employee tax assessment. This aims to ease the filing process and is part of broader tax amendments.
Yes. All right. So it's actually not only in Austria. From our experience, it's everywhere. They would usually have the tax filed in March, all right, or until the end of March, which usually would extend up to June, without a problem. So we usually would do it around those months. So it's actually not only in Austria. We've experienced it in other countries as well. All right. So yeah, that's all right. So yeah, that's basically what we can share generally about taxes, and we gave Austria as an example. We can tackle more of the other countries next time. Maybe we will tackle the ones with the lower taxes.
So
all right?
you may know which is the best country for
For
you.
you, right? If you don't want to pay too much taxes, then maybe you should go to other countries. But of course, all right, it doesn't, just because Austria has big taxes, it doesn't mean that you should not migrate there.
No.
It's always a balance of which ones are good for you, which ones are bad for you, right?
Yes.
That's why JIP Migrate can be proud to say that we have all of this knowledge. I mean, our team, me and Joni, we don't really know everything, right?
Yes.
But our team do, right? We have different departments. We have the legals, we have the real estate, we have the taxes, we have rentals as well. What other departments, like virtual businesses, these kind of things. And it's always good to have an expert team right beside you with your migration. You don't just joke around, you can't do it really yourself, especially to a place like Europe. Europe is very, very bureaucratic. You can't just joke around. Right? We know that for a fact. This is why JIP Migrate was built, all right, to help people who really want to migrate. All right, so hopefully that was helpful. Of course, as usual, anyone is welcome to give in questions that we can answer. We actually have a lot of we have a whole list of questions we should answer. We'll tackle it one by one video at a time. So until then, want to migrate to Europe? Contact JIP Migrate. We enable possibilities for those who are ready to move. See you on the next JIP podcast.
Bye.